Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on all 4 games in Fanatical's Killer Bundle of July 2025. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before we begin, I would like to thank you, the viewers, for watching my silly videos. I hope they're helpful, and most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have RoboCop Rogue City, a first-person action game by Tion, bringing the iconic 80s sci-fi hero back to life. Released on November 2023, this game captures the spirit of its cinematic inspiration, offering a straightforward yet heartfelt experience. The game places you in the heavy metal boots of Alex Murphy, blending light role-playing elements with plenty of satisfying action. You'll make dialogue choices that slightly affect outcomes, engage in optional missions, and explore a gritty slice of Detroit. The plot is simple, centering on a mysterious new guy in town who inexplicably garners attention from every gang, media outlet, and police force. It is absurd, but it sets the stage for plenty of classic RoboCop chaos. The combat is where Rogue City truly shines. Armed with the iconic Auto 9 pistol and other weapons, you will clomp through levels, dishing out brutal justice with a visceral mix of gunfire and environmental carnage. Authentic touches, like RoboCop's clunky movement and heavy footsteps, immerse you in the role. The weapon upgrade system is quirky, yet rewarding, letting you tailor your arsenal as you progress. Despite some rough edges such as limited ability use, occasional glitches, and a plot lacking depth, the game's charm and love for the source material are undeniable. It is not a AAA masterpiece, but its sincerity and satisfying gameplay make it an enjoyable tribute to RoboCop fans. Tion proves once again that they understand how to adapt cult classics. At number 2 we have Chambers, a comedic RPG shooter set in the weird Wild West, and it's every bit as ridiculous and chaotic as that sounds. You step into a world ruled by the war for booze, where Rids wield revolvers stronger than ever, and your quest for a special coffin spirals into slapstick chaos. What makes this game shine is how much freedom you're given to create your own nonsense. You can kick bandits off of cliffs, catch bullets mid-air, fling your hat like a hookshot, or even cook your enemies and trade their meat for reputation points. It is less about following a straight path and more about choosing whether to play it like a classic FPS or treat it as a full-on survival sim. Combat is dynamic and hilarious, with gunplay that feels both stylish and unpredictable. Catching bullets to throw back never gets old, and chaining dodges, rolls, and drunken flips across firefights can leave you both impressed and laughing. The sandbox structure encourages experimentation, whether that means trading, cooking, or accidentally blowing yourself up at a campfire. Since it's still in early access, you'll run into some jank, NPCs behaving strangely, odd physics, and a social system that feels undercooked. But the charm is in the chaos. Chambers doesn't just allow for accidents, it celebrates them. If you're after a polished western sim, you might want to wait. But if you loved wild experiments, slapstick absurdity, and a bizarre blend of retro shooter energy, this is absolutely worth your time. At number 3 we have The Dungeon of Naheulbeuk, the Amulet of Chaos, a goofy D&D themed turn-based tactics game that mixes satirical humor with solid technical combat. You control a preset party of adventurers, each fully voiced, who never stop bantering as you march through a dungeon that feels part parody, part classic fantasy. If you enjoy zany humor, you'll likely have a blast. If not, be warned, the comedy is relentless, ranging from clever references to fart jokes and meme-era randomness. Mechanically, you're looking at a game inspired by XCOM, but with a fantasy twist. Positioning matters more than cover. Backstabs and adjacency bonuses become key, and healing or reviving party members will often determine whether you scrape through or collapse. Battles are tough, sometimes punishingly so, even on a default difficulty. At the same time, the lack of permadeath reduces tension. When your barbarian dies, you'll probably just shrug and send him charging into skeletons again. Where the game shines is in its polish and presentation. The environments are beautiful, full of detail and atmosphere, while the interface delivers information clearly, letting you plan without fighting clunky menus. Combat feels satisfying, though sometimes stretched out by too many enemies or repetitive encounters. The biggest dividing line is tone. If you can embrace absurd characters, endless chatter, and a Poundland Shrek ogre, you'll enjoy the ride. If you roll your eyes at random humor, you might struggle. Still, with strong combat, striking art, and surprising challenge, this dungeon is worth exploring. And number 4 we have Wolfstride, a narrative-driven RPG where you work odd jobs by day to find robot fights and maybe escape your shady past. At first glance, it looks like a high-energy mech brawler, but you quickly discover it is more of a slice-of-life adventure set in Rain City. You follow Dominic Shade, his ridiculous pilot buddy Pineapples, and their grumpy dog mechanic Duke, as they scrape together cash to repair their Mac Cowboy and compete in the Golden God tournament. Don't expect constant action. Much of your time is spent trudging through streets, picking up part-time work, and meeting the city's bizarre residents. The humor is relentless, sometimes clever, sometimes painfully immature. If you don't laugh at a mech called Peepo or a side job shortened to BDSM, you'll be skipping a lot of dialogue. Still, underneath the cheap gags lies an engaging cast and a city that feels alive. Rain City's junkyards, bars, and hidden corners give you a sense of history and heartbreak, and you start to care about the people despite their absurdity. Combat is built around grid-based mech battles, balancing positioning, attack ranges, and resource management. Unfortunately, you see most of its tricks early, as the small arenas and limited skills don't allow much room for experimentation. Wolfstride struggles to balance its smart storytelling with its childish humor, and its pacing can drag. But if you stick with it, you'll find a surprisingly heartfelt tale about regret, redemption, and washed-up heroes fighting for one last shot. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle is a no-brainer if you're even remotely interested in RoboCop, since the bundle price is basically the same as a solo key and you get extra games to pad your library, trade, or gift. Yeah, RoboCop has been dirt cheap before, and it might hit Epic or Prime giveaways down the line, but grabbing it here means instant value. Throw in Wolfstride and Dungeon on Naheulbeuk, and honestly, you're scoring a solid deal without overthinking it. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.